Do you feel the vibes?
Hey YouTube, here I have an Optiplex 9020 that I will be updating shortly. It's going to get an SSD, which is going to run the operating system. It has I believe a 1 terabyte hard drive in it right now, and that one will be used to store all the data. It also has a DVD drive, which you see connected here. Problem with these 9020 small form factor, the SFF edition, is that they don't have an extra power cable for 2 hard drives running at the same time. But I will show you how to fix that. And for that, obviously you're going to need your SSD. This is a SanDisk 120 gigabyte SSD. You're going to need some heat shrink, thermal adhesive tape, a multimeter, some wire snips, a pair of helping hands, solder, an extra Sata cable, some wire strippers, and in this case I have a Molex to Sata power cable, but I will be cutting this so I can use the Sata power cable, a soldering iron, and your heat gun. So let me move this aside and put it on the side. We are going to depress this lever, bring the cover out, let's take that away. Alright, so here we have the DVD player. Let's remove that. So okay, so let's take the connections off. So this is a power cable for the Sata. Alright, that one doesn't want to come out. Let's take the Sata cable out. Let's remove the DVD player. So see that? Bring it up and out. It comes out. So now it's hard doing this one hand. Alright, that was hard. So that one comes out. And now we remove our hard drive, which is right here. For that, you have to come in here and move this lock to the right. So move it to the right. There we go. And now we bring the whole tray up, and out. But for that, you have to remove the Sata cable, which is right here, and the Sata power, which is right here. So let's take that out. Now you have room to bring it up and out. Let's put this aside. Alright, so now let's make some more space. Let's take this ATI graphics card out. So let's bring this up and out. Oh no, you know what? You don't need to remove that. So let's just take our Sata cables out. There we go. Number 1, this is the one that went to the DVD. Now we have this long one, which is going to the hard drive. And our third one over here is going to be for the SSD. So now we see here, this guy is connected in here. See that? You have to take it out. So this one is the one that distributes power to all your Sata components. Here we see that it's already doing a Y connection, and it's sending power out to the DVD player, which uses this, and the hard drive. So now we will cut this guy up and solder onto these connections. Okay, so we ran into our first problem. This Sata power cable is only 4 pins, so the Dell power cable, which is right here, already cut up. It has 5 pins. So basically we have 12 volts going to the yellow power wire, ground, 5 volts going to the red wire, ground again, and then 3.3 volts going to the orange wire. On this other 4-pin connector we have 12 volts, ground, 5 volts, and then ground. So essentially I'm going to use this 5-pin power cable to connect to the SSD, which might be using the 3.3 volt line. And then we'll use this 4-pin connector to power the hard drive, which I know doesn't use a 3.3 volt line. So this guy's already cut. Now let's cut this guy up. And we'll start soldering after that. So let's cut this guy up. Let's give it this much. Cut all of them together. There we go. Right, now let's start soldering. Okay, so I finished the soldering. You guys can see here, I already put on the heat shrink. It's on, it's not going anywhere. Again, our 3.3 volt line, you didn't have to cut, but I did, so now I have to solder it back again. Then we have our yellow, which is our 12 volt line, separating to these two SATA cables. We have our red, which is the 5 volt line. And then we have our 2 ground references. And I didn't have to cut anything from here since I cut all the way down here. This is the one that powers the DVD player. And let's just try to see how this is going to be connected inside the desktop. So here we have our standard hard drive. So I think it's okay. There you go. It's a 500 gigabytes, 7200 RPM. Our SanDisk solid state drive, 120 gigabyte, and then our DVD drive. So DVD drive connects in here like so, and then we're gonna have our SATA, our 5-pin, going to this solid state drive, which I believe uses a 3.3 volt line, but for sure our hard drive does not use a 3.3 volt line, so that one will come in and just connect like that. So there we go. Now we have power going to all 3 devices. And I think I'm gonna put this solid state drive in here. It doesn't seem to affect anything. I will use some thermoconductive tape so that the hard drive on the bottom can conduct through the case on this solid state drive, and well, the solid state drive can work all the way up to 70 Celsius, so I don't think this will be a problem. But if I do see a problem in the future, I will correct this. So now, let's take this out. In order to take the hard drive out, you're going to want to click on these 2 tabs and just kind of pull the hard drive out. So, do that. There, it comes out. So now, I'm going to use my thermoconductive tape to essentially just tape this hard drive to the bottom of it. So let me get that ready now. I'll be back. Okay, so I had to make sure that our connection was going to be good. You can see that this Seagate hard drive uses 0.72 amps on the 5 volt line and 0.52 amps on the 12 volt line. And if we go to this SSD, it uses only the 5 volt line and uses 0.7 amps on there. So yeah, we're good on that. And we didn't make any different connections for this DVD drive, so I'm not going to worry about that. Right, now that we have the power connector dilemma out of the way, I'm going to thermal tape this on top of here, just like that, and try to line them up so that they're at least on the same side. I don't have any problems with that. Here, I'm going to use my thermal tape. I'm just going to put this way. Just gonna cut about that much. let's cut that right there. I'm just going to use 2 of these on here. There we go. Number 1. Okay, this second piece right here. This is just going to keep the SSD from moving around inside the hard drive enclosure. So let's get this out of here. There we go. I'm just going to try to put this on here, just like that. Alright, I think that's in there. It's not going anywhere, so there we go. We've got our 2 hard drives on there. Now let's put this guy back in. It just slides in like that until that clicks in. There we go. You see? That wasn't difficult to put in. This was easy. So now, this guy, I mean, you can either do it the way I did it, which is soldering, or you buy the actual adapter from Dell. But I'm on a time crunch. I need this done fast, so I decided to use what I had in hand. So now, let's get our Optiplex 9020 up here. There we go. Okay. Alright. Now that doesn't move, let's figure these guys out. Okay. I'm gonna use this SATA cable. We're gonna put the small one on here on this blue connector. That's gonna be our main drive. That one is gonna be connected to the solid state drive. And then our, so blue is SATA 0. You can see right there. Let me see now. Get some light on there. There we go. The blue is SATA 0. And we're going to have our D drive, the data drive, here on SATA 1. And our DVD drive on SATA 2. There we go. Okay, so now we're just going to connect our SATA cable in here. There we go. And now let's get our power on there. So we're going to use this 4-pin connector in here. We go this way. Connect that to the bottom one, which is our hard drive. There we go. That's connected in there. And now this one will go to the solid state drive. So let's get this one in there. That's it. Now let's put this back into place and lock it. Now that's locked. Here we have our 2 SATA cables connected. Now we're going to get this third one, put it in here on the DVD drive. Now get our power cable to the DVD drive and connect it in there. So now that that is connected, we're just going to put it in here and slide it in all the way back until it clicks. So there we go. And we're just going to move these cables out of the way. That's good enough. Alright, so now this guy's done. Should power up. We're gonna boot into BIOS. and see if our hard drives are detected. Alright, so I have the computer connected to power. Now we're going to go into the BIOS. So we press F12. See there it says preparing one-time boot menu. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go into BIOS setup. Okay. Gonna go to system information. And we see here that we have 4 times 4, we have 16 gigabytes of RAM installed. Let's see. Let's go down to a Sata. There we go. Sata 0 has a 120 gigabyte SSD. Sata 1 has a 500 gigabyte Seagate drive. And then Sata 2 has a DVD drive. So our system is working correctly. This concludes this section of the video. The SSD, the hard drive, and the DVD drive were all recognized by the BIOS. This tells me the computer is working. Next video, I'm going to show you guys how to install Windows 10 Pro using both disks. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.